What is up, guys? Today we are doing some more messing with the engine on the truck and seeing if we can get this thing drivable. Now this is getting really repetitive, but really trying to diagnose this thing, and I want you guys to be involved in it because you guys that are making comments and are sending me messages are really helping us out and giving us stuff to look at that we may or may not think to look at before. But yesterday when I was moving the truck and back into the garage, I found a massive vacuum leak in the upper intake plenum, so that's obviously going to cause some issues. So I see that's probably where the hesitation and where the loss of power is coming from, because you've got air sucking in there that it's not really going to go into the proper places, and it's going to just cause kind of a whole slew of issues. And so yeah, we're going to be messing with that. Hopefully we could just retorque the bolts down on the intake and everything will be good to go. And at the same time, I think we're going to just replace the ignition coil just because it hasn't been replaced yet, and finish up our compression check. We just moved the truck just kind of barely, just so we can kind of tilt it into the garage and have a little bit more room. The vacuum leak is still very much there, and yeah, I hope it's going to be a little bit more simple, kind of getting this vacuum leak cleared up and fixed, because I really don't want to go through the process of taking everything apart again. So basically, what happens is you remove everything up here. You've got a piece of plastic. You've got your upper intake plenum right here. It's made of plastic, and it sits on top of your upper intake manifold. And you have to take that off in order to do your injectors and replace those and all that. And they've had some really bad problems with not sealing up, and especially if you don't torque the bolts down exactly to where they need to be torqued down to, then it's going to come loose again and you're going to have a massive vacuum leak. Compression check is a very important step that we're going to have to take just in order to make sure that the engine is healthy. So before kind of moving on to anything else, checking to make sure our timing's fine, checking underneath the valve covers or anything like that. Checking the compression on your cylinders is super important because that allows you to tell pretty much the health of the engine. It's kind of like sticking a stethoscope up to somebody's chest and telling how the quality of their lungs are. Basically the same thing. If you have low compression in one of your cylinders, something very wrong is going on internally, and that might be, at that point, it might be time just to go ahead and rip the engine out of the truck. So here was all of my spark plugs right here. You can see they're looking pretty rough, especially these two here. So a lot of them are blackened up pretty badly. So we've got all 8 new spark plugs in the truck. We finished up the compression check, and here's our results. We got pretty much 180 to 175 on the passenger side, and we stayed in the 180s on the driver's side. So everybody's holding pretty good PSI as far as the cylinders go. All new plugs, and compression check is all good. Put on a brand new ignition coil, so we should be in decent shape, I hope. It is a brand new day, and kind of decided to take a break from the whole truck nonsense for a little bit, since we've replaced a lot of parts, a lot of sensors, a lot of stuff, brand new spark plugs, a full tune-up, and the problem still persists. But somebody did give me a glimmer of hope on Instagram, messaged me. He said he was having pretty much the same exact problems with the truck, and replaced the ignition control module, which really I haven't thought about it because the truck doesn't have any problems with ignition or problems starting. But looking a little bit further into it, the ignition control module controls a lot more than just firing up the truck. It actually controls the way the plugs ignite and everything ignites, and the combustion inside the engine, and it actually controls timing at a low RPM, and then at a higher RPM the ECM actually takes over the timing on most vehicles. But I think that might actually have something to do with the problem that we're facing, because in the Instagram message he asked me, does your truck backfire and sputter around when you're trying to drive it? And anybody else that's said anything about timing or anything about the distributor or any of the other sensors has not mentioned on their own the truck backfiring. So this has kind of given me a small glimmer of hope. The part's $80 by itself, but since the part is 20 years old or 23 years old, the same age as the truck, and it's not been replaced, there definitely might be a possibility that actually does need replaced. And yeah, so we might actually try that. And that guy, I'm actually going to link his Instagram in the description. He's been riding around on his little pit bike for a good couple of days now, so he follows me on Instagram, so definitely appreciate that. Not sure if he watches the YouTube videos or not, so he might not catch that clip, but you know, it is what it is. But anyway, check this out. Something really cool. And if you look at my community channel and my posts, I told you guys at 8,000 subscribers that I will release or reveal the rendering of the truck that we have done. And if you guys didn't know, if you don't follow me on Instagram, I have a rendering, my very first ever rendering of what I want, my plans for this build done for the truck. But we've got 8,000 subscribers. I think we're at 8,003 subscribers. So I cannot thank you guys enough for the support on this channel. I posted that and I think I was off by maybe a little under 100 subscribers, and you guys absolutely killed it and got that channel up to 8,000. So huge milestone, because we're 2,000 subscribers away. 2,000 subscribers away from our 10,000 subscriber mark. Man, there's a lot of traffic today. 2,000 subscribers away from that 10,000 subscriber mark, and when we hit 10,000 subscribers on this YouTube channel, I'm going to be giving away a brand new 100% complete set of Boost Auto tow mirrors. Boost Auto Parts is one of my biggest sponsors for the truck, and you know, absolutely love those guys. And I want to give one of you guys a chance to win a complete set of mirrors with the switchbacks or the orange lights or whatever you're wanting in the truck. And we've teamed up to go ahead and be able to offer that to you guys. We hit 10,000 subscribers, we will be having a giveaway. A giveaway for those tow mirrors, probably set up pretty similar to the other giveaways on the channel, where you have to comment on the video, subscribe to us on YouTube, both Boost Auto Parts and myself, and follow us both on Instagram in order to have a chance to win. So definitely very excited about that, because we're getting very close, and that is going to be a huge milestone for this channel, and I just can't wait for it. Like, you guys have blown it out of the water on the support and everything to be really good for the channel, really good for the Instagram, and seeing that 8,000, as much as a small number as it might be as far as YouTube goes, gives me a huge amount of motivation to continue cranking out videos and doing stuff to this truck and continue to make this thing better. And we are determined to get this thing running and start being able to make the changes we want to. So that rendering is going to finalize that, and it's going to show off those changes that we were wanting to make. Alright, I ended up going by the parts store and picking up one of those ignition modules. This right here is all it is. This apparently controls a lot more of the truck than just starting it up, which is what I originally thought until I did a little bit more reading on it. It actually controls low range RPM timing, and just the way your spark plugs are firing, the order that everything is going in, and that honestly seems like the problem that I'm having, because, you know, like I said, it just feels like it's got something wrong with one of the mixtures, a ratio, an air to fuel ratio, or something. So we've got brand new spark plugs, so we've got great spark. So that's one thing. The truck fires up and runs, so it's got combustion. I mean, obviously it's running. The compression check was very healthy, so that's good. There's nothing wrong internal, you know, that showed on the compression check. And the only other thing it's going to be is the air to fuel ratio. And I don't know. There's so many different sensors on these engines that control and help with that. I mean, the camshaft sensor that I replaced actually sends signal to this ICM, and so does the crankshaft sensor. So all these sensors in this module work together and make the truck run and perform how it's supposed to. So there's a very good possibility that might be it. And I'm just really fingers crossed, because that guy on Instagram, you know, if that's what it is, definitely he's a lifesaver, and I owe him something. Pretty simple. We have to remove the intake and all the air box and everything, gain access to where our ignition coil is right there beside the transmission dipstick, and this thing just unbolts, and you bolt the new one back on, apply thermal grease, and plug it back in, and then everything should be good to roll. Alright, here is the factory GM part. 23 years old. Is it bad? Really don't know. Can't tell. It's all electronic. And then here's the new one. So I'm going to spread our thermal grease on the back of this, slap it back on the bracket, and then these two little 5.5 millimeter screws hold it back onto that bracket by the ignition coil, and then we're going to fire it up and see if this helped. So fingers crossed, hopefully this might solve the problem. To my surprise, not really. That ain't it, Chief. Still not it, man. I can't fix this thing. I just keep throwing money at it. I might as well just take my wallet and just throw it at it. I don't know, it sounds like, it feels like it's not breathing right. And then sometimes it feels like it's not running on all cylinders. It feels just weak. I don't know. I just don't know what's going on. I really am so beyond tired of trying to fix this thing and trying to diagnose it. Another $80 part just thrown at it. I don't know. Somebody mentioned in the comment on my last video just to give up on it and take it to a mechanic. And what's that mechanic going to do? The mechanic's going to do the same thing. He's going to pull this truck into the shop. Sure, he's got a cool scan tool he could hook up to it, and it might get him close to maybe what he thinks might be the problem. But when that is all said and done, he doesn't know what the problem is. Just like us, having the truck in the garage, and trying to diagnose it. He's going to trace down sensors too. Okay, let's continue throwing money at this thing. What do you say? Not quite sure where my rant ended about throwing money at the truck and sensors and everything because the camera battery died. So wherever that left off, really don't know. But mass airflow sensor. The truck is actually, let me show you. The truck is actually giving me a code this time. After I ran it around the block a little bit, the truck is actually giving me a code that's different than random misfire. All right, read codes. P0101, mass or volume airflow. If you Google that, it leads you to the mass airflow sensor. I have replaced this sensor in the past, but I used a cheap $30 part off of Amazon. Could that part be faulty now? Absolutely. If you don't know it, super simple. Mass airflow sensor is right there. You unbolt the two clamps, pop it off, pop the new one on, plug it in, and you should be good to go. Now, obviously, I'm not going to get any hopes up here because I keep getting my hopes up in hopes that something's going to fix this or something's going to change, and it just does not do anything for it. So here we go. New one is in. Super simple. Pop the old one out, put the new one in. One more time. Here goes nothing. Okay. I'm kind of nervous because I just hope it works so bad. Fingers crossed. Like, where's the fingers crossed emoji? It needs to be there. Put that down in the comments because we need that right now. So I'm actually kind of nervous. I don't know why. After all this stuff we've replaced, never been nervous, but this time I am. And she's running. Of course, hasn't had an issue running, but here we go again, running. I'm not going to be able to tell until I drive it again. Still not it. Guys, I am so lost and confused, and I just don't even know what to do anymore. That's all I want to do is drive this truck, and I still, like, it just, I don't know what's wrong with it. I really don't. Like, just watch it. It just dies. Like, I can't give it any gas. I can't do anything to it. It's at below 1,000 RPMs. I'm just beyond to the point where I don't even know what else to do, guys. Like, I could rev it. And it's fine. But when I try to drive it, it's just like it's literally falling on its face. It's tripping over itself. It doesn't know what it's doing, and I don't know where to go. I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys the live data readings on my scanner and see if maybe that might tell you guys anything that might know a little bit more about it. I mean, right now it's trying to idle. It's kind of hesitating at idle, and you can watch the RPMs. It still smells like it's running rich. I think the black soot problem might be gone by now, actually. I haven't seen that for a while. It smells like it's running rich. And as you heard, it's kind of struggling at idle. Now, let's go ahead and go back over what I have replaced. It's got new spark plugs. It's got new injectors. It's got new map sensor. It's now got a new mass airflow sensor, new ignition coil, new ignition control module, decently new but not brand new wires. What else? New crankshaft sensor, new camshaft sensor, and I think that's it. I think that sums it all up right now. So, you guys have seen the problem. You've seen it drive. In the last video, I showed GoPro footage of driving the truck and what it's doing, and it's just stuttering. It's stuttering, hesitating. It's almost like it's skipping a beat, and I'm just not able to drive it. And sometimes it idles perfectly fine. Other times it did what it did before, just a minute ago, to where it will kind of hesitate and stutter on idle. And at this point, I don't know. It's got a brand new fuel pump, brand new fuel lines, brand new fuel filter. I mean, everything that I could think of, is practically new. And I don't know. Can't take it to a mechanic because they're going to go through all the same stuff that we've been going through. They're going to go through the plugs. They're going to want to do a compression check. They're going to go through the sensors. Their scanner is not going to say anything different than my random misfire and my mass airflow problem. The only thing we could do, I guess, is see somehow if it's jumped time. I don't know. That'd be the only other thing I could think of is to see that if the truck has jumped timing somehow. Those of you that are sticking around with me as far as trying to find out this issue, I very, very much appreciate it. Everybody's help, everybody's comments, everybody's messages, everybody's DMs on Instagram. It's helpful. It's giving me things to think about, stuff to look at. Like I said, that ignition control module, wouldn't have even thought about it if it wasn't for that one dude on Instagram. And it fixed his problem, and I might not be. Obviously, I wasn't experiencing the same problem, so it didn't fix mine. It's got a full tune-up. That's what's the most frustrating part. Is everybody that's commenting on check your spark plugs, do a full tune-up, check. The stuff that's really, really easy. I already looked at it, guys, and I'm going to need some more in-depth help, I think. It's going to need somebody else that's maybe had this problem. And even then, people that have had this problem, they give me their solution, and it doesn't help me. So it's just really frustrating. And I know you guys can probably tell and definitely see it and hear it in me. But, that's part of this channel. The problems are part of this channel. This isn't the perfect OBS out there. This isn't the most perfect running, driving truck in the world. And, that's the whole point of the channel, is to, help with problems as well as show you guys these problems. That way, if any of you have it in the future, then you could refer back to these videos and see what I've done that helps and that don't help. And eventually when this problem's solved, you can try that for yourself and see if it helps you. All that being said, I have no idea what that noise is down there, but it sounds awful. All that being said, I appreciate all of your support. Each and every single one of you subscribe to this channel and that watch these videos and try to help me diagnose what's wrong with this truck. Everybody who has thrown out a suggestion and has sent me a message on Instagram or has made a comment down in the comment section here on my YouTube videos, I very, very much appreciate. I can't express that enough to you guys. So, as always, guys, thank you so much for watching these videos and subscribing to the channel, clicking that like button. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Take care, and we will see you all in the next video.